Headed to the park to get some knitting done. And the park is right across the street. I'm going to set up in the back of my truck and enjoy the beautiful weather here in sunny, beautiful California, Southern California. Let's talk about Neville. I've mentioned Neville a few times in my previous episodes, and I want to talk a little bit more about Neville Goddard. Have you ever met someone that has so profoundly changed your life that it's like the best relationship you've ever been in? And you will never ever forget that person? Well, that's what Neville is to me. Before Neville, my life was on just automatic. I was just going through life, coasting through life. Although I had a purpose and I had accomplished a lot according to the material world, according to what we deem as success. I went to college. I have degrees. I had a 9-to-5 job. Wasn't paying much, but I was happy doing what I was doing. But there was a missing part of my life that I was searching for. I knew something was missing from my life, and I did not know what it was. I had an idea, but I did not know what it was. And as a seeker, as someone who always seeks, I just kept seeking. I went to Beijing, China, and other parts of China. I sat with monks, studied with monks. I went to Greece, went to the Isle of Patmos. That's an island in biblical literature. It's a real place. I went there. I met with spiritual gurus, and those encounters were life-changing. However, those encounters did not fill the void that existed within me. And I kept living my life while keeping my eyes open, my mental eye open to what other possibilities, what other realities existed out there for me. And in 2015, 2016, one day while perusing YouTube, I came across this guy called Reverend Ike. And the Reverend Ike was a charismatic, wealthy evangelist that attracted me into his world, into his sphere. And I said to myself, there's something different about Reverend Ike. Here's a preacher who is using the Bible, who has a church, a mega church, who teaches the law of prosperity, but he's not a religious person. He's a spiritual guy. And I resonated with that. And I thought to myself, I wonder if he's the person that's going to fill that void. Granted, no single person can fill a void that exists within you. What fills your void is your own essence. And oftentimes, your essence is tied to the essence of another human being. And I thought it was Reverend Ike. And I listened to all of his sermons. I listened to all of his messages. And I left inspired. I left feeling motivated. I left feeling like the best me. And there wasn't anything that I could not accomplish. And then Reverend Ike, in his messages, in many of his messages, kept mentioning Neville Goddard. Neville, as a spiritual mentor, someone he looked up to. Neville was Reverend Ike's favorite author. And I said to myself, if he's talking about someone that shaped his worldview, his philosophy, why shouldn't I investigate who this individual is? And I said, let me look into Neville. So I went on Amazon and I got Neville's work. And at once, I knew this is what I needed. This is the essence that's going to fill the empty space in my life. I started listening to Neville on YouTube, and I'm grateful for the individual who captured Neville's work and put it on YouTube for the world to hear. And I'm telling you, Neville is that individual who has so shaped my life that it has forever changed my family tree, my legacy, my posterity, and it will do more for my children, their grandchildren, and subsequent generations than anything that I would have ever done had it not been for my encounter with Neville Goddard. Neville Goddard was more than a spiritual teacher. He was my spiritual teacher. He is my spiritual teacher because I don't believe anything dies. I believe once we make our transition from this world, our body stays on this world, but our essence lives on forever. And because I was seeking, I tapped into something that was out there called Neville's essence. Although Neville was regarded as one of the most influential New Thought teachers, he did not ascribe to any labels. Neville just believed that every person, regardless of that person's race, creed, ethnicity, religion, personal worldview, choices, that each person would eventually be redeemed into his or her highest self, which is God. What really resonated with me was Neville's teaching that the human imagination is the only God, and a person can achieve anything by imagining the wish fulfilled. That's the law of assumption. So the law of assumption states that when you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled until your assumption of your definite chief aims, dreams, and ambitions has all of the sensory vividness of reality. In other words, when all of your senses, your olfactory, your auditory, your gustatory, tactile, and sight, when all of your senses combine together, you feel that your dreams, goals, and aspirations are here and exist in the nowness of consciousness, You will unfold, you will expand into that desire that has resonated with you all your life. I do not believe you're here on accident, sharing this space with me. I believe the providential wheels of fate brought you here, brought us together, and the universe not only wants me, but also wants you to have an abundant life, to live your best life here and now, to live in total well-being, wealth, happiness, love, success, and prosperity. You are destined for greatness. Your life is complete. The vision, your dreams, your goals, the vision has its own appointed hour. It ripens and it will flower. If it be long, then wait, for it is sure and it will not be late. So persist. Persist in living as the phenomenal person you already are. You are complete. And remember, whatever follows I am, you become. Peace.